Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Afternoon, everybody, or good morning, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Right. So, I'm here today to quickly give everyone who has been asking us lots of questions about the Excel business operations application. There's been lots of questions around what is this product. I've been seeing the adverts everywhere. What is this product about? What is Excel? Um, how does it support business operations? What are the unique selling points of Excel? How is Excel valuable to my business? I run a retail business today, or I'm into wholesale, I'm into distribution of goods, I'm into importation or exportation of goods, or peradventure you run a manufacturing business, you are into paint manufacturing or soap manufacturing or whatever in that category. Or maybe better still, you're even into clothing business and you've got massive store. Whether you're a small business or a startup or you're a medium scale business or you're operating your business somewhere in Lagos Island or in Ikeja or somewhere in Abuja or in Port Harcourt or even outside of Nigeria. So let's imagine you're running your business in the UK or in the US. How do you gain control of your business? That is a lot of the big question. One $1 million question everyone keeps asking. How do I take control of my business? So there are situations whereby some business owners travel a lot. They might even be Nigerians in diaspora, running their business remotely, and there seems to be a sort of this fear, of losing the business because you barely have control. You don't have visibility of what is going on in your business. You don't have, you can't even tell the worth or the value of the goods that you have, whether in your warehouse or the ones you have in your shop, or you even need something that can maybe look after your business, starting from the e-commerce layer to the end-to-end business operations, down to accounting, down to staff management, and you're wondering how many applications will I really need to be able to do all of these things. Today, I've brought you good news. It's a new year, 2026. It is time to do something about these issues. It is time to address the problem. And while you're listening to me live on YouTube, I'm also recording, and you would have snippets of some of these videos across all our social media. So you can actually go to Guru Geeks. Just go to @GuruGeeks on Instagram. You can follow us there, and you can see all necessary valuable information that will really help you from time to time. You can also check on TikTok or LinkedIn or Facebook or X platform. Just put in Guru Geeks there. You will definitely be able to see all our resources. Or better still, take note of our website, gurugeeksreality.biz, gurugeeksreality.biz. That will take you to our business website. Or better still, if you want to read more about the application called Excel, just go to gurugeeksreality.biz/Excel, XCEL, and then you see some basic information about it. But now that you're here, let's just quickly get into it. So I'm going to be explaining or quickly walking you through how Excel business operations software application can transform your business. How Excel business operations software can transform your business. By the way, my name is Femi. I'm one of the team leaders at Guru Geeks. We call it GG. So I just want to talk about how you can transform your business around Excel. So let me just quickly give you a perspective of some of the problems that most people are facing. And this is not just limited to Nigerians in diaspora running businesses, whether from the UK and then also connecting with those in Nigeria, or maybe just somewhere outside of Nigeria in Africa, and you just seem not to have control over your business. Or could it be that you bring your product? Let's imagine you always bring your product down from somewhere in Africa and then you sell in any of the international regions like the UK, Canada, or the US, and you're currently confused about how do I balance this currency fluctuation. How do I make sense of this margin, because now you're buying things in another currency, you have to sell it in another currency in another country. What about your inventory? Sometimes your inventory is even chaos. It's chaotic because you don't even you don't know how to track your inventory. Some people are placing an order online, but there is no system to actually manage that along with the shop, because some people are running on-site business whereby people can come to your shop directly to buy, and they can also buy online. So how do you manage all of this inventory, the online inventory, the on-site business aspect as well? How do you manage multiple outlets and multiple warehouses? Let's imagine you're a business that has several branches. How would you manage that? Do you need 5 applications to do all of those things? No. How do you even keep track of the performance of your business? How can you tell when some products are actually lower than the threshold that you have set? The stock level monitoring. Do you have something like that? Do you know the kind of product that you need to restock when they are actually running out? Do you know how soon you should restock your product? Now, these are different KPIs that you should know as a business owner. And even today, some people still carry, paper and jotters and pen, and still doing some calculation, or probably using calculator to manage the business. This is 2026. You do not need to break the bank to use a digital system to manage your business, which is why I'm bringing you this good news. Okay, that's what Excel is all about. Excel application basically helps you to gain control, visibility, to even enhance accountability and bring security to your business. So that means that your business is set for long-term sustainability, not just running a business and in 1 year, 2 years, you're already off the radar. You don't want to do that. You want to set up something that can become a legacy, something you can even leave for your children's children. So if your business is to live longer than you or beyond you, then you need to put in the systems in place, which is why we're talking about Excel today. So I'm going to run a demo just at the back of my presentation. So stay with us. Don't go away, because I'm going to run a demo on the entire application just to give you the highlight of how Excel basically solves major challenges of several business owners, whether in retail, wholesale, whether in clothing business, whether those into pharmacy, pharmacists listen to me as well, those into pharmacy, those into manufacturing. This is for you. This is for you. So Excel basically will have product catalogs that will support you as you prepare for the adoption of this solution in your business eventually. But let's talk about the capabilities that it's got. Let's talk about capabilities that it's got. It has a multi-currency with automatic foreign exchange rates. So that means that when you buy product from another region in different currency, the system automatically can help you understand your overheads, whether you spent money on transportation or cargo or logistics, all kinds of things. It uses that information. It gives you an option to convert that sort of spending into the appropriate currency that you want to sell your product, and eventually helps you to do what we call an automatic selling price. So it can help you to predict what your selling price of that product should be based on all the overheads that you've spent. The system helps you to do that easily. So there's a smooth checkout on the system. It is a 3-in-1 system. So stay with me. This Excel, right, is beyond all other online sort of application you've seen. This one covers the online business, which is the e-commerce. You have your e-commerce layer. It also takes care of your end-to-end business operations while you're running the physical shops. You can imagine that. Then it takes care of your staff, the performance. It takes care of a tracking system, a reporting system that can help you to know the performance of your product across different branches of your business. And also take care of your warehouse. No matter how many warehouses you have, it covers that. So one of the things we have even introduced recently is what we call smart shipping. So it basically, for some, let's say for instance, you are into grocery business, a retail shop. This and some of the products you are selling, they are actually weight based. They are weight based product. It means what we have done is that it has an automatic calculation capability to determine the weight. Of course, once you enter the data for the weight of your product in the system, you can then set the delivery cost as part of your settings per different region. Let's say you're operating from UK or you're operating in Nigeria, so you can set those prices to determine your weight of that product. Once you enter that information, it then automatically provides that all through the e-commerce, so that anyone buying a number of products, the weight of that product is automatically calculated, added to the actual cost of that product, and then it gives them the final payment to pay. And whether it's going to be like a standard delivery or an express delivery or local delivery, that functionality is already there. All you need to do is to get the product and download your waybill and then hand it over to the delivery service, whether it's Uber Ride, whether it's going to be Royal Mail for those who are in the UK, whichever one, it applies. This product is currently being used in Nigeria, across Nigeria, whether it's from the western region or eastern region. It's currently being used. It can also be used in Congo. I'm going to show you all of these things very soon, so you're not limited to a region or a country. It has an automated inventory and stock intelligence. So real-time tracking capabilities are there. Intelligent alerting monitoring is there. It can tell you the performance of how your business is doing. You have full accountability of your business. There's an advanced pricing and cost calculation, which I talked about, the automatic exchange rate detection. It has a comprehensive costing. You can either set discount prices for some of your products. You can also even do things like a sort of a profit protection. Let's imagine you have a regular customer and you want to set a custom price for this particular customer from a particular region. You can also do that in the application as well. Financial control and accounting. Many of you, at the end of the year, where you want to file your financial statement, you have to then pay a huge amount to your accountant because the bulk of the work is actually a lot. This time around, you do not need to pay too much on accounting or financial statement because the system already covers all of these things. So there's an accounting module there that does accounts, chart of account, expenses, even your supplier management. So it tracks your supplier. It helps you to track how much you're paying to your supplier, whether you're making for the full payment or you're paying instrumentally. It covers all of that. So that means you don't need to worry about anything. So just download all of those reports, the sales reports. You can download all your, whether it's monthly, whether it's yearly. You can download your expense sheet, everything. All those reports can then be handed over to your accountant, and then they can just compile all of that, and it's good to go. So the system helps you in terms of your finance and accounting. Let's talk about supply chain for a moment. So what do I mean by supply chain? Let's keep it simple. In the product, in this application, we've already designed a supplier management whereby you can track everyone who supplies you. So you can track the purchases, the payables, and all of that. You can track the cost accurately from the supplier to your shelf, ensuring that all your expenses are captured. For instance, if you run multiple warehouses or multiple shops, which we call outlets, you can also, in this application, you can do what we call supply products. You can supply products from a particular branch to another branch. Imagine that easily. You can also do a supply product from a particular warehouse, from a warehouse to different branches, depending on how you run your business. And we also have what we call supply clients or supply customers, because it has an CRM. There's a customer sort of management feature there. So you can actually do a bulk supply to regular customers. So that means that you don't need to use the point of sale of the application which you are using to attend to individual customers at your shop. You can use another feature called supply customer, which is the wholesale aspect of the application. It's very, very vast. So it's very interesting, very intelligent application to use. Now, finally, let me talk about real-time performance dashboard. So it provides a sort of a 360 sort of overview, giving you enough insight to make strategic and intelligent decisions. So any application that does not give you a real-time performance dashboard today, there's no point using it, because in this day and age, you want to be informed about how your business is doing. If you don't have the data is really wealth. Data is money. If you don't have the data, you don't have insight about how your business is doing, don't waste your money. That is not an application. You need a system that can guide you in how you make decisions. How many products have I sold in the last 1 month? How many products, what sort of products are making the, topping the chart in terms of their performance? What kind of product do I need to restock and by when? right? So don't just stock products in your shop. The system will tell you the performance, so you know the kind of suppliers that you need to even build a more closer relationship with, because that the success of your business depends on the availability of their own product. So the system guides you in all of these things. You have complete visibility. You track your sales performance per product outlet. You can then even monitor your staff performance. That's what we call the staff performance dashboard. Now you can see how your staff are performing across different branches. What sort of product are they selling the most? Which it has a KPI settings where you can set a KPI for your staff as well. So imagine a bit of human resource management is also part of it. So that is an intelligent system to have. Now we have support. So the way we actually run this, I'll tell you about the pricing later. But for now, just understand the capabilities and functionalities of this application. Now, if you're operating your business in the UK, US, France, Belgium, some part of Europe, and even let's say outside of Nigeria, let's say for instance Congo DRC, we have actually introduced what we call a multilingual platform, whereby the application transitions into French for those who are operating the business in Anglophone country or Francophone countries. I mean, like French speaking countries or English speaking countries. Now that is interesting. What we've also done is that you have a sort of a controlled a sort of a control grade, well, let's say for instance user access control, but this is an enterprise grade security level, which means that we have what we call role-based access control. So there are certain users that can utilize this application, starting from the admin, who can be your manager, and then you have different staff operating at different capacity. Let's say warehouse, somebody in charge of online, somebody is in charge of the outlets. So you can set these individual roles for some of your staff, so you have sort of full control. So that's quite interesting. Let's work towards getting into the application. This is just an overview. This is a screenshot giving you the sort of the highlight of the application, which I'm going to show you in real life. So let's dive into the application, and then I'll bring that up, and then I'll be sharing my screen in a moment. Great. So I hope that you can see my screen. Now this is just an example of one of our potential customers, which they're currently trying out the product, and I'm just going to show you an example of how this can be applied. Now this business runs a grocery, they're into groceries, so I'm using a grocery store as a case study for this demo today. It doesn't mean that any other business cannot use it. I'm just giving an example. So for instance, those who are into electronics, those who are into, let's say, stationery business, those who are into gift items, those who are maybe into clothing, even pharmacies, right? It doesn't matter. Pharmaceuticals, healthcare, whatever you're into, as long as it's into buying and selling, here's an application for you. Now let's quickly dive into it. This is the application welcomes you to the dashboard. Now from the dashboard, you can easily see the total sort of amount of sales that you've made. This is just a dummy information, by the way. It's just a dummy. These are dev environment, so it's a dummy information. So don't believe what you see here. Okay. You can see your sales, you can track your expenses, you can see the number of customers that you have in your business. You can track the amount, the bulk of the supply, the worth of the supply you've been able to do, either to different branches or to your customers. You can even see if there's any pending orders from other staff managing the other branches, if they've requested for you to transfer some product, and maybe so you can track that there. Then we have the staff sales performance, like I mentioned. You can see in this case, I'm using a case study of a business located in UK, but I'll show you that it can be used even in Nigeria or outside of Nigeria. Like I mentioned, I'll show you those evidence in a moment. So you can track the staff sales performance. You can see what's going on at the headquarters, amount of sales we've made there, and other branches. You can actually see the highlights, a graphical representation of the income statement. Let's say for instance, the sales, total sales versus total expenses, and then versus your profit. Now in this dashboard here, which is tracking the performance of your sales, now you can actually toggle this either from monthly to yearly. So you can actually say, okay, I want to see the performance of my business across the year, maybe the last year or the last 2 years. You can do that. You can even customize the dashboard to say, I want to see my performance of my business from, let's say, last year June to last year December. You can do that here, and then it still gives you the results. So it's quite simple. So without carrying calculator or pen and paper, from the dashboard you already have an overview of your business performance. Now let's go to how we onboard our customers in the system. How we onboard our customers in the application. Very simple. So one of the things that you want to do first is your preference. You want to set your preference, your company name, and the country of your operation. So where do you want to operate? Where do you want to operate? Is it from Nigeria? So for instance, look at this. So if you're operating from Nigeria, all you need to do is set it to Nigeria. If you're operating in France, Belgium, DRC, which is Democratic Republic of Congo, or you're operating your business in the US, the system transforms into the language and the settings that will help you to operate your business in the country of your operation. So you are not limited to just UK, you're not limited to just Nigeria. This is a product that is becoming global, so you want to take advantage of it. Then you set the currency in which you're using in your country. So in this case, it's pounds. If you are operating in US, it's of course USD. If you're operating in, let's say for instance, France or Belgium, it's euro, or maybe those in Congo as well. And then you set the VAT that applies to your business, and then you can put a picture of your business there. So let's go back again. So once your preference is sorted, you can use the application and connect it with the POS with your what we call the cash drawer system. So you can have a cash drawer system, and we'll all guide you on how to set that up. And you can define your PIN, the PIN that you want to use, so that your staff who are eligible to use the cash drawer can use it. Again, you have staff settings, so you can also create your staff, their phone number and their designation. Are you placing the staff to look after warehouse or outlet or the online business? And then you can select the actual branch. I will show you how we create the warehouse or outlet, whichever one your staff is going to be looking after. And you can define a KPI for them on their performance. You can also, let's say for instance, you want to set up your warehouse. So warehouse could be your lounge, it depends. It could be your garage. Warehouse could be a standard proper storage like warehouse. So it depends, it doesn't matter. Just define what you keep in your store. That's warehouse. Whatever is not in your shop that you need to keep somewhere, that's your warehouse. And then because we need to separate what you have in your warehouse to what you have in your shop, and then to what you have online. So that's why the system is very well defined, so you can add your warehouse, the details of your warehouse and the location. It's very important as part of the setting up of the business. Then you also can create as many outlets as you want. So if you run maybe 5 outlets, 10, 100, whatever, create the outlet here. In this case, this business have 2 branches. So we have 1, we have 2. So once your outlet is there, your warehouse is there, you are almost getting ready to use the application. Then you can come here as a matter of, let's say this is optional, you can start to create those overheads that I told you about. So maybe you bought the product all the way from Nigeria, you're shipping it to the UK to sell, or you brought it all the way from Nigeria, shipping it to US. You can start to create your overhead type. You can say, okay, for transportation I spend this amount, for this I spend this amount. That's why you go through this, you set your currency, you select your inventory category, all of that is there. It takes care of it. So it gives you that sort of control over your business. Now this is where you can set your shipping configuration. Let's say, for example, like I said, this is just a dummy information here. So depending on the country you're operating from, determines how you set this. So you can define the location that you believe customers will be placing an order for your product that is online, and you can define the cost of the standard delivery. You can also define the cost for express delivery and all sort of things. There are lots of updates that is also coming on this aspect, because we're trying to make sure that it's so even more flexible and covers quite a number of things. This is where you define your weight. So if you have weighted based items, you can define this to say, okay, any product from 0 to 0.50 kg, this is the amount I want to charge for the delivery. This is the amount I want to do this for. So you can set all of that, so that when somebody places an order for the product online, then all of these things, the system automatically knows this information and then provides those data to the customer, which I'm going to show you in a moment. You can track complaints from your customers who are ordering online, which is the complaints here. You can also do, like I said, I mentioned to you that you can set up your account type, for the accounting side of things. Set up your account type. You can set up your chart of accounts. You can also track all your expenses. So whether expenses, for instance, related to someone's supply goods. You're trying to, okay, I've paid part payment, I did this, I sent this money to the staff to purchase something. You track all of that there. All right, you can do your staff performance there. Can you see it's already telling us this sales performance across different branches, also telling us the highest product sale per outlet, and it's telling us the staff that is responsible for those sales. So you can dig deep into this. You can even adjust the data to previous dates or even today. Of course, we get the details for today, also get for the previous days as well. Moving forward, let's go to supplier, for instance. So this is where you create your supplier. So what would that supplies you your goods? You can track all of that there. So let me go to inventory for a moment. So for instance, inventory. So how do you track your inventory? For instance, you already have this. So you create your inventory category. So what are inventory categories? Inventory categories are very simple. So let's imagine you are into, like for this case study, is grocery business. So if you, let's say for instance, beverages, things like Milo, Bonvita, all sort of things that represent beverages. So beverages is the category. So you create beverages, and then you can also create subcategory if you want, right? Now, how do you get your product into the system? This is it. Very simple. You can either enter the product individually like this by following this process. Select your category, because you've already created your inventory category already, previously. Select the number of the unit. We have all kinds of units here, so that means that it's not limited to grocery business. Look at things like yard, bundle. Who uses this kind of terminologies? Those who are into clothing business. So this also covers for them. Those who are selling things in packs, sacks, kg, liter, you're covered, right? You can enter the weight of the product. You can set your stock level on the minimum stock level, so that before the product runs out, the system tells you. You can set your cost price, selling price. The system can automatically detect the selling price for you if you want. You can set if you want that product to be online, or you only want the product to be on site physically. So you can determine that here, or yes or no. Then put the batch number of the product so that you track, you have proper inventory. The batch number is there. The expiry date. Most grocery business stores, especially maybe some other businesses, they don't have expiry date. They don't set expiry date. So now they are almost selling a product that is expired to their customers because they don't have a tracking system. This covers the expiry of your product, and then you put the picture of the product there, and then you just save that. So this is an example of what I'm talking about. So name of the product, the image, the minimum stock level, the stock level, the unit, the weight, the batch number, cost price, selling price. If you have a discount, you can also set a discount for that product there. Look at that. Then you can set the product, whether you want it to be available online or you want it to be offline. So all of that is the expiry date. So you have your product item. Now, if you decide, let's imagine you have a huge chunk of product. You don't have to go through this adding one product one by one. All you do is the import. You use the import feature. The import feature helps you. So what you do is that you download a template. Look at that. So once you download the template, you now you fill the template with all your products, and then you just upload it once. Once you can upload it here, you can see drag or drop the CSV file. Once you upload it there, all the product will be automatically populated for you. So you don't have to do it one by one. Okay, so that is there. Then we have things like, or you can also use the barcode scanner capability as well. Okay, so I've talked about inventory, category, pro item, online inventory is there. So if you have product that you have selected to be published online, which is the e-commerce layer, this is where you can see all the products. If you have products in different, let's say for instance, you've added some product, this is already done, but you can add product to a particular warehouse. You can have products to a particular outlet. All of that will be, will be there. Then you can see the average inventory cost you got and the total inventory cost. So when you keep things in your warehouse, you have an idea of the worth of the goods there. And then the same thing goes with the outlet. What product do you have in your outlet, in your shop? It tells you the total worth of the goods there. So at any point in time, you know what you've purchased, you know what has been moved to warehouse, you know what has been moved to your shop, you know what is online. So at every point in time, everything should balance. By the time you look at your sales record, you looked at, of course, tracking of the invoices, you look at your accounting, everything should balance. This notification is blinking because the stock level is lower than what has been set. So it's giving you a notification that you need to restock that particular product. Let's talk about supply. Under supply, we have what we call supply product. So you can actually create supply. What do I mean by that? So you can move a product from your warehouse to any of your branches so that the staff in that branch can then sell those products. So, and everything has an ID, a supply ID, so that at any point in time, there is no stories, that, oh, I didn't know, I lost one product, I don't know where this product is, I don't know. All of that is a thing of the past, because you can now track every goods at every point in time. We have what we call supply clients. Supply clients is how you supply product to your regular customers. Don't forget that you have your customer database here. So this, you can create a customer here, right? Fill in their details, put in their address. So once they are there, you can then track whether they are buying online or they are buying physically. So when you come to the supply customer, you then create a supply for them, and then you select the name of that customer you want to supply to, and then you save. When you do that, it brings it to your customer supply, your voucher. You can see the buyer, you can select the product that you're supplying, you can even override the price that is there, and then you add the product, and it goes on and on like that. Then if one of your staff in managing the branch should then make a request of certain product, you will see the request here so that you can approve it. Then let's imagine that you've moved product from warehouse to a particular outlet, and suddenly there's a decision to say, and the boss says that, no, I think something has happened, they've delivered some product, I don't want you to move the product to the outlet anymore. What do? You can use the all inventory returns. Create a return. When you create that return, it tells you, okay, where do you want that return to happen? Where do you want the product to return to? Then you fill in the information, and then you can return the product from where you originally, moved it from. Isn't that interesting? That's amazing, isn't it? Now look at this. You have all sales. You can track all your sales, whether it's physical sale, the walking customers that came to your shop while you're using the point of sale. I'll show you the point of sale in a moment. You can also use the you can also track those who are buying online. So you can see, I'm just showing you an example here. So whether it's a walking customer and the payment method, did they pay by cash, did they pay by POS, was it bank transfer, all of that. Have they made a full payment? Of course, you track all of that. You can also track your returns. Let's imagine somebody returns a product, from maybe they bought online and something happened, they have to return it. The system can track it for you. Then you have what we call sales chart. What does sales chart really means? So sales chart is giving you an insight, reporting. I mentioned it the other time about how is your business doing. So you have like daily, you have monthly, you can check that. You can also play around with the dates. You can do a custom period to set the periodic date where you want to see the performance of your sales. Let's just play around with this one for a moment. So you can open that sales. The system then gives you a bar chart of the top 5 sales you've had for that particular period. Or of course you can also edit it to get more. So you can see the product that are really performing very well, and the product that are not doing so well. That's the lower sales and the higher sales. Then you can download the report for further discussion, strategy meetings with your team. Okay, so this is very good insight as to it guides you on how the business is doing. You can also do a previous report to whatever day. So let's imagine you're tracking what happened yesterday, or you want to track what happened the last 6 months. You want to see how the business has performed, what sort of product have been doing well. All of that is there for you. Okay, now you have the point of sale. This is the one that is very popular. So the point of sale is what we call the tilling machine, the one you see when you enter the retail store. Let's imagine it's Maryland malls, or maybe you went to a shop in Maryland mall, or maybe somewhere, the same thing you normally see in Sainsbury's in the UK or whatever, or your Walmart in the US. So you have point of sale, right? Very common checkout system. So your point of sale, this is what your staff will be using at every branch. So they just select whatever products that the customer wants, and then they can adjust the unit. The unit can also be in decimal if it's weighted product. Then you can also see the total. You can pay by cash, transfer, or POS. This is also attached to the checkout as well. You can also connect it to the receipt printer, which would also give you the specification of receipt printer that this will be working on. So this is your point of sale. Now, if you're wondering, this is for the staff at your branch. What about the display for the customer that wants to buy? here is it, you are covered. So if you have another screen or maybe an iPad, you can, this is the view that the customer will be seeing on their own side, but this is the view that your branch manager or whoever is at your shop, this is the view that they will be seeing. Then you can also track the online sales. So if a sale happened from your e-commerce, you can track them here, confirm the order, progress it, and also move it to what we call order processing. So that means that from order processing, you can start to progress things to say, oh, it's currently being packaged, oh, the order is maybe pending, oh, it's been delivered. All of that is there because it has what we call shipping. There's a shipping pack module there that you can create a shipping and manage that product till it's delivered to the end customer, the end user. So you can see that with evidence. You can even do your waybill. You can create a waybill. You can download the waybill. Waybill is like a paper that covers is a digital paper that covers the evidence, right? The evidence of everything that your customer has bought, maybe in bulk, whether it's online, and then you attach it to whoever is going to be acting as a delivery person, so that the customer, you can even you can send it via email, or just share it with the customer so that they have a copy even before the delivery person gets there. That is amazing. So let's bring everything to a close. You've seen the dashboard, you've seen the inventory, supply, sales, order processing, shipping, customer management, supplier management, staff management, accounting module, complaints tracking, and then the last but not the least, your e-commerce. I told you that it's got an e-commerce. So you don't need to go and pay for an application that is only doing e-commerce for you, and you think you have control over your business. You don't have control. You don't have control. If your business cannot take care of what you do outside of the online, you don't have control. Your business doesn't have accounting. It doesn't have staff performance. You can't do sales performance. You can't even do your POS. You can't track complaints. You can't do your returns. You can't do multi-warehouse, multi-outlet. You are not using an application yet. You need something like this. Excel is your good to go product. Look at this. This is the online. So you can track all so you must have created all these products I showed you during the admin interface. So you can select, add the product to cart, all of that. You proceed. We have two payment gateway system integrated with this, PayPal and Paystack. So you have multiple options to use. And then you add to cart. For instance, it's going to ask me if I decide to pay now. If I go to cart, it will ask me to process. Let's imagine, I'm just giving an example. So it's already telling me this is a frozen food. So if it's a frozen food, it might be suggesting that I use what we call the express delivery. Now it's asking me to log in because every customer should have their account because they want to track what they're doing. Okay, so I can maybe log in by creating a new account, or I can log in using my Gmail account to make it very quick. So I just use my Gmail account, and then I go back to the cart, and then I proceed to check out, and it's asking me, do I want to pick up the product or I want it to be delivered? What sort of delivery do I want? Okay, because it's a frozen food, it shouldn't stay too long, so it's express delivery. Select the county, because I'm using UK context here. Select the county, put in your details, and then you proceed to payment. Isn't that interesting? You have your product category here, you have your support here. What do you do in support? You can raise a complaint to the business. You can contact their social media platforms. You can also raise a complaint. You can see that. Interesting. What else are you looking for? This is a complete solution. Share this everywhere. Whether you're into retail, manufacturing, wholesale, distribution of goods, importation of goods, whether you have a clothing store, or the Dumota people, where you sell clothing store, you sell gold, you sell all these things. You are working at let's say Ikeja Computer Village selling electronics. You need a system like this. Don't waste your money. Don't let people ruin your business for you. You need support. You need it. You need to digitize your process before it's too late. Let's build business that can last for generations. Let's not just build business for 2 years, 3 years. You need a system. That's why I'm showing you this. And interestingly, the price. Let me just show you the price as my last information. Very simple. Look at it. Very simple, very affordable. If you're in the UK, you can get this product whether, let's say, for instance, biannual or yearly, for instance. So let's say it's a yearly license. It's just £400 for a year, license. £400 for a year usage. Go and check what other competitors are doing. They don't have as much as what I just showed you. They are only giving you e-commerce and you are paying 350. We just £400 for the whole year. Imagine, for the whole year, up to 5 users. We cover all the hosting, we cover the maintenance. You are not doing any technical thing. We are the one doing everything for you. It covers all the training, weekly training. We guide you, we onboard you. We even do physical visit if you want, right? If you want the perpetual license, we want to buy the application outright, send us an email, info@gurugigsroyalty.biz. And let's imagine you want to just do the biannual subscription. You can do an upfront payment of £180 and then you do £20 monthly. But in the Nigerian context, for instance, we have quarterly subscription, biannual subscription, and 1 year. The quarterly subscription is just 150,000 naira to save your business from destruction. You have biannual option, which is just 285,000 naira. We already have customers using this. I don't want to mention too many names. We already have customers in Nigeria and even in the UK already using this, expanding. So 1 year license is just 550,000 naira, and you can use up to 5 users. It covers all your hosting, the domain, everything you need is all inclusive. No extra charges, no hidden charges, nothing. 550,000 naira for a whole year. You have this 3-in-1 application. Your online, the business operations, you have the multi-warehouse, multi-outlet, everything I talked about is available. So what do we do now? Will you get the information and just move on? Or you quickly reach out to us now? You can reach out to us on, if you're in Nigeria, 08061175088. If you're in the UK, just check our details or send us an email. You already have our details on our website. Go to gurugigsroyalty.biz, and then of course we'll be here to respond to you. Send us a message, drop us comments on YouTube if you're interested in this. Drop us a comment, feedback on our Instagram handle at gurugigs, and we even if you don't have the money, we will deploy it on free trial for you for 2 weeks. Go and use it for free. If that one gives you peace of mind, go and use it for free. All right, so no excuses. We are ready to deploy it for you. Just get in touch with us. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this valuable, and I'll speak to you some other time.
Recording stopped.